From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode, we find out a nationwide Divers Supplier Grant Initiative, what it is, how it makes it easier for minority businesses to access capital. We focus on manufacturing industry in Indiana, spotlighting a recent innovation conference that brought together manufacturing entrepreneurs and global industry leaders. And another success story, so stay with us.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
Welcome back to Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Time to talk accessing capital. JP Chase has a new initiative called Divers Supplier Grants, designed to break down barriers that many minority businesses experience in the quest to find success. Doug Rodgensen is the architect, if you will, and program director of the grant initiative. We connected with him on the job to find out the opportunities those grants offer.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Access to capital.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. The Divers Supplier Grant Initiative is a nationwide growth capital program that is intended to help lower financial barriers for diverse-owned businesses that are vying for corporate procurement contracts from companies like JP Chase and from the Fortune 500. Now, the bank has partnered with a nationwide community development financial institution called Local Initiative Support Corporation, that's LIS. And the bank has issued a $5 million grant to help stand up the program and have LIS in turn issue these growth capital investments to minority-owned businesses that qualify for the program. Now, the program's overarching goal is really to deliver a unified solution that helps increase the qualified supply base of minority-owned businesses, not only at JP Chase, but for the industry at large. Now, what's unique about this program is that we're also encouraging other corporations to participate with us. For every donation and pledge that's made by another corporation, the bank will match that donation dollar for dollar, and in turn, helping create a force multiplier of scale, of reach, and impact creation. This program launched in April. We've garnered over 35 pledges from corporations, roughly $1.5 million and growing, and that's really created what is roughly a $6.5 million pool of financial resources available for minority-owned businesses to tap into. And we're proud to report that over 80 minority-owned businesses have reached out to LISC to explore this growth capital initiative. In 2020, the bank made a public pledge to increase its procurement spending with Black and Hispanic-owned businesses by $750 million over 5 years. And that also means increasing the qualified supply base of diverse-owned businesses. So the bank's already part of the $1 billion roundtable. We procure goods and services, over $2 billion in goods and services from diverse-owned businesses today, and that's on a direct and indirect basis. But really, we wanted to be intentional in our next round of procurement spending, focused on growth, especially in historically underrepresented areas and communities. And so from a business development standpoint, meeting a corporation's corporate compliance requirements could cost a small business, and especially a diverse-owned business, several $100,000 just to meet our minimum standards. And so as we began business developing these new third-party relationships, oftentimes we would invite them to bid, and they were later getting rejected for not being able to meet our corporate compliance requirements. Things like cybersecurity, things like insurance, corporate insurance, and or performance bonding. And so we felt this directly. We've also felt this indirectly through our key supply chain relationships. We have a a cohort of preferred suppliers called our gold suppliers. Think of them as sort of our top 100 supply chain partners. And so as DE&I continue to play a material role in JPMC's culture and strategy, we also strive to have our key supply chain partners aspire to a similar level of standards and commitments, hence our interest in their diversity supply chain spending. So as we challenge our gold suppliers to increase their procurement spending with minority-owned businesses, some of them faced a similar challenge, which is really getting into contract with corporate-ready diverse-owned businesses. So it felt like we had an industry challenge on our hands. And with access to capital as the number one barrier for diverse-owned businesses, some minority-owned businesses are just reluctant to make that investment without a guaranteed purchase order. And the other side of that coin really is large corporations oftentimes won't consider a third party unless they have a clean bill of health. It's kind of chicken and egg. So it was natural for JP Chase to take a lead role to help create an industry solution to help lower financial barriers and help position emerging minority-owned businesses to more effectively compete and earn contracts from JP Chase and the industry at large.
Doug also shared with us why JP Chase supports this program in particular and how people can find out more as it moves forward.
I'll say this program is becoming an alternative funding solution to, I'll say, the traditional debt or equity program. So the program offers non-securitized, non-collateralized investments ranging between $25,000 and $200,000, which is issued through LISC. Well, look, there's no such thing as risk-free financing, but this model delivers a financial solution that's really performance-based, meaning companies that receive the growth capital through LISC and they're successful in their growth endeavors, they will be asked to repay it forward back into the original grant pool for the next round of eligible businesses to tap into the program. Now, those that do all the right things, but they don't grow, they don't earn new contracts, they can request loan forgiveness. And so, the bank has a 5-year vision for this program. We really hope that this repay it forward concept helps deliver a sustainable solution that goes well beyond the 5 years and becomes a recipe to help support the growing needs and demands for small business and especially minority-owned businesses now and in the future. And then I'll say one last thing to underscore the impact of this program. One of the key goals, again, was to implement a unified solution that other corporations can join, that they can participate in, and really jointly increase the qualified supply base for the industry at large. And lastly, but most important, help deliver a solution that drives inclusive capitalism for all. You can visit the JP Morgan site, search for Divers Supplier Grant Initiative sponsored by JP Chase, or through LISC's public website focused on growth capital investments. Thank you so much for having us, and we're really excited, and we hope that your audience and your viewership learns more about the program, and hopefully this helps bring some awareness to the great things that JP Chase, as well as the industry, is trying to do to help deliver inclusive capitalism.
The program lines up closely with the goals of this show, so we'll share all the information about it on our website and then follow its progress as it aims to change lives. Each week on Business Equity and Opportunities, we focus on a specific industry. This week we highlight the manufacturing industry and Indiana's role in it, and how innovative manufacturing entrepreneurs are connecting both globally and locally to find success.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities. Industry Focus.
On-Ramp Manufacturing is an annual conference that focuses on connecting innovative manufacturing entrepreneurs with global industry leaders and investment opportunities. Hosted by Generator and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation earlier this year, it was a great success. Chelsea Linder, a partner with Generator, and David Watkins, Vice President of Small Business for IEDC, share their thoughts on this and how Indiana is leading the nation in manufacturing job growth.
Every year, we're happy to host the On-Ramp Manufacturing Conference in Indianapolis. This is, I believe, the third or fourth year that we've had it here. And so being able to bring everybody in, particularly those who are out-of-state investors or entrepreneurs, show them what Indiana has to offer, shine a bright light on our manufacturing sector and the strength in the manufacturing industry in Indiana. Always a great opportunity for us to do that through the On-Ramp Manufacturing Conference.
Generator has a platform where we help communities invest in their own community by supporting startups, entrepreneurs, and other people, such as people who are looking for new careers. So one of the things we do is we have conferences where we bring together startups, entrepreneurs, corporations, and investors all within one industry with the goal of helping to create organic connections and allow more innovation and collaboration across those groups. So we recently hosted our manufacturing conference here in Indianapolis alongside the IEDC. We had it at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and it was exciting to see how beautiful the stadium looks now, and to be able to highlight another great part of Indiana's history at the conference.
The IEDC has partnered with Generator in particular for several years now, originally to help run and facilitate accelerators across the state, most recently running those accelerators in the areas of 5G, automation, the future of mobility, and to shine that light on our industry sector of manufacturing here in the state of Indiana, and particularly the startup opportunities, the opportunities for entrepreneurship and innovation in those areas. So this is part of a broader strategy of making sure that our current strength in manufacturing continues to be a strength for the state for decades to come. And certainly the partnership with Generator and this conference in particular are all part of that broader strategy. Indiana leads the nation in terms of the percentage of our GDP that comes from the manufacturing industry. And manufacturing has been and will continue to be a leading economic strength for the state of Indiana. We're obviously focused on helping manufacturers of all sizes. A majority of our manufacturers are small businesses. And the issues and areas of programming for manufacturers vary. It can be digital transformation, it can be new equipment, automation, AI, international trade and exporting is huge for our manufacturing sector. Indiana is a leader in the nation in exporting, and a lot of that comes from our manufacturing industry. So ensuring that the manufacturers across the state continue to be able to grow and thrive, find new markets for their products, access capital to buy new equipment, all are part of the strategy that the IEDC pursues to support our manufacturers.
I think that as an entrepreneur, especially early on with a startup that you're working on, having access to connections to those major players in the industry is really important and valuable, whether it's potential customers or investors or just people who can be mentors and give you best practices. Having that opportunity is really the fastest way to bring your startup forward. And so we're so excited to be able to provide that opportunity.
We think of famous names like Cummins, Eli Lilly, even Allison Transmission, and thinking what we can do as the state to create or help entrepreneurs create the Eli Lillys of the future, who will be the Cummins in 100 years. We're starting the process of seeding that ecosystem today. And the companies that start up today, the companies that pitch at a Generator on-ramp conference, those are the companies that, hopefully 100 years from now will be the names that people are talking about as being important to Indiana's economy and certainly major players in the community and the business community. Manufacturers are looking for partnerships and collaborations here in the state and then broader in the country as a strategy for dealing with any type of supply chain challenges that they might be having. And certainly when we have a supplier and a manufacturer getting their supplied products from Indiana, it's just strengthening the entire ecosystem. That ecosystem is then beyond just what that one manufacturer makes. It's also their entire supply chain and their partnerships, their customers, their suppliers that obviously have a significant economic impact on the state. The best advice I have is get connected to the ecosystem. There's no wrong door. There's a lot of side doors, and if you come in and you start working with Generator or take advantage of one of the G-Beta accelerator programs that we have here in Indiana, or whether you come in and get started with SBDC or Elevate Ventures or any other of our ecosystem partners, that connection wheel starts turning, and it doesn't stop until hopefully we have success as an entrepreneur or a startup.
Antron Brown is Top Fuel Drag Racing's first African-American champion. Hard charger whose home base is Pittsboro, Indiana. He's won 3 world titles and is always steering for a 4th. He runs his own team, AB Motorsports. Lifestyle Live host George Mallet spoke with him in Brownsburg in a garage earlier this year, and it's today's success story.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Success Story.
Steve Torrence was a day late, and he's going to be $1 short. It's Antron Brown on a hole shot. 3.759 seconds, 315 miles an hour.
Pittsboro, Indiana's Antron Brown is the class of NHRA racing. The 3-time Top Fuel champion has long driven for Don Schumacher Racing, but has now launched his own racing team. AB Motorsports boasts a murderer's row of top sponsors, including Lucas Oil and Matco Tools.
For me, this is definitely a big dream come true for my family and everybody there, and it gives us a chance to give back to when we see these young people coming up where they have the same drive and passion that I currently still have, and you can see it in them, but they don't know what path to take. Where we can open the door up and say, hey, come here. And we can bring them along the way and give them the necessary means they need to be successful in the sport of motorsports and NHRA drag racing.
What became immediately clear when we visited Brown in his Brownsburg garage is that he takes the notion of giving back seriously. As February, Black History Month, got underway, I asked him about the importance of being a role model. It's a position the 45-year-old driver not only accepts, but embraces.
They'll be able to see somebody like me that's African-American and say, hey, AB's doing it, Antron Brown's doing it, I can do it.
He'd like young people of all races to understand they have competitive options beyond the stick and ball sports that dominate American culture.
And I see tons of people that's in the inner city that can whip and drive cars, like last year. So that's the coolest part about it is just show them the opportunities out there and giving them the roadmap to get there.
Ask anyone who knows Brown what his strengths are, and they'll talk about the hard-charging driver's work ethic. Meet him, though, and you will realize you are talking to a man who not only works hard, but is entirely relentless.
Everybody wants something in life, but they're not willing to go out and get it. And that's the hardest part for me to teach to all the younger generation today and say, hey, you got to wake up every day is an opportunity. Every day you have an opportunity to be better, to improve yourself or get one more step closer to where you want to go. And that's how I wake up every day to this morning. Like, I am a professional race car driver, okay? But before I raced a pro stock motorcycle. Never knew I could race a top fuel car, the elite of NHRA drag racing. Then I became a race car driver. Then I won 3 world championships. Like 3rd on all-time win list in NHRA and top fuel. But then I said, well, what's that? Why am I stopping there? I made it here. What's next?
And that was the thinking that led to the creation of AB Motorsports, a well-planned out racing team with the resources, personnel, and molten dreams to be the best.
My goals for AB Motorsports 5 years down the road would be to literally be able to grow and not be a 1-car team, but a 2-car team. Maybe a funny car, a top fuel team, maybe even have a pro mod team and have various different classes, and also being able to help other teams grow.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, BEOshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunity Show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at BEOshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.